Good evening. First tonight, the heartbreaking story of a schoolboy from Leeds who took his own life while revising for his GCSEs. 15-year-old Daniel Long became obsessed with revising and hanged himself in the run-up to his exams earlier this year. Now his mum is campaigning for more counselling in schools. Sadly, the latest figures show that Daniel's case isn't isolated. Over 200 children aged 10 to 14 lost to suicide every year in the UK. And a recent survey from the childhood suicide prevention charity Papyrus found that 1 in 10 teachers reported, on average, that a student shares suicidal thoughts with them at least once a term. But only half of those said they would feel confident that they could support students who had those thoughts. Michelle Lyons has our top story, and just to warn you, you may find some of the details in her report distressing.
Caring, funny and clever. That's how Emma Oliver remembers her son Daniel until he started preparing for his GCSEs. But the exam pressure got too much for him. He became withdrawn and stopped eating, and started revising for hours on end for his mock exams.
I said to him, "Are you all right, Dan?" and rubbed his head. And he said, "Yeah." And then I came downstairs and I said, "Right, I'm going to make you your dinner." So I started making dinner, and then I heard a big bang. And I went up the stairs and he'd hanged himself. And then obviously I shouted outside for a neighbour to help me cut him down. And then I took him downstairs, I carried him into the kitchen and did CPR on him until the ambulance come. And we did get a heartbeat, and then the paramedics come, the ambulance, the police, and then they took him to hospital.
Daniel died 2 days later. Emma believes it was the pressure of his exams which led him to take his own life.
I used to say to him, "Are you all right? Yeah." And I'd say, "Are you worried about anything? You're worried about your exams, aren't you?" And he'd go like that. And I knew, and that's when I could see the changes. He became really withdrawn, really clingy. He didn't really go out anymore. He didn't go on his Xbox. And he just came really quiet within himself.
Daniel died in February. His room remains untouched, and Emma can't even bring herself to turn the pages of his calendar. His friends sought counselling after the tragedy, but they were told there was a 6-month waiting list. By then, they'd have already left school. Now Emma's calling for more emotional support for students in schools.
I'd like more counsellors in schools, and I'd like people at the top to recognise that all children learn differently. They're not robots. And maybe put it out there that you can always sit your GCSEs. It is a piece of paper after all. It's not the be-all and end-all. There's life afterwards.
Daniel went on to save 5 other lives through organ donation, bringing some solace to Emma, who's struggling with her loss.
Every day that goes by, it gets harder, because it's, you know, another day you've not seen him. But I miss him every day. I miss him every day.
Michelle Lyons, BBC Look North, Leeds.
I'm sure any parent will share Emma's heartache there. We should just say that Daniel's school, Bruntcliffe Academy in Morley, support Emma's campaign and have promised to try and help. We're joined now by Mark Wilson, the Chief Executive of the WellSpring Academy Trust. They're working with the local NHS commissioning group to place mental health workers in secondary schools in Barnsley. How serious a problem is this, Mark?
It's a very serious problem. We have tragic incidents like we've heard there. Daniel's story. Young people are going through, you know, what are to them real challenging times, and help needs to be provided.
So who's to blame for this? Is it the fact that the schools are asking for more GCSE good grades? Parents probably ask for them as well. Is there a balance there somewhere?
There probably is. There are many pressures on adolescents and on pre-adolescent children. Some of those are exam pressures, and some of those are the pressures that have been there forever. Body image sometimes, sexuality, peer pressure, friendships. But I think we find that they're amplified more now through the advent of social media.
Let's talk about Barnsley, because there is an initiative, your initiative.
There is.
How's that going, and how does it work in practice?
Okay, it's going well. We've engaged with over 200 young people during the time that MindSpace has been active, and more than 70 families. Youngsters can access mental health support direct in schools instantly.
Can it be expanded though? Because I think you're talking about 1 in 10 schools there lucky enough to have this. Could it be extended to every single school?
It could indeed. We're asking commissioning groups, schools, groups of schools, multi-academy trusts, local authorities, clinical commissioning groups to come together, talk together, and look at how we can expand this this service for more children in more schools.
It's a worthwhile project, Mark. Thank you very much indeed for sharing it with us tonight.